Hello everyone, it's me, Kaisha. And today's I'm going to discuss the biggest thing of reflection of separation and blocking in the twin flame dynamic. So, grab yourself a seat and listen up carefully. It's not what you think. You'll notice in a lot of the twin flame dynamics, there's blocking put up. Now, the person may have done it to another person because of that person coming towards them, or it's a self-imposed block. Now, there are two types of self-imposed blocks. One self-imposed block is done on a human realm level, on the earthly realm. It's through social media and communication. In some cases, come on, people, restraining orders. Then you have a self-imposed block that you're unaware of. Ooh, wow. Now that's a big one. Self-imposed spiritual blocks. Or should I say spiritual self-imposed blocks? Grammatics. Anyway, I digress. Here we go. It's where your higher self put a block, a stop on being with your beloved. You're not allowed. And because they're in charge of the avatar and they're the ones that wrote the story, and you're just a puppet in all of this as a human, you really don't have or maintain control. So when you talk about human free will, guess again. Just how much does that human free will impact the outcome? Let me go back a little. The spiritual self-imposed block is where the higher self says, this outcome must happen in this specific way. But for the protection of the avatar, my avatar, there must not be any communication. There must not be anything heard. Now, let me tell you what some of the reasons could be. It's for protection. When I say protection, you look at me and you say, hey, what do you mean, Kai? Well, it's for your own good. Now, I'll give you a couple of scenarios. The beloved is not in a very good space or place. And instead of lashing out at you or taking it out on you, you're placed in a block so that they can't connect with you. So you're not subjected to such abuse. And it wouldn't be intentional. It's just because they're going through something and you don't know how to handle that because you're not secure in yourself just as of yet. Another thing which brings us to this point is focus. It forces you to focus on yourself, to gain the strength, confidence, shed the bullshit, shed all the things that no longer serve thee or in your greatest and highest good. Toxicity, toxic relationship, toxic patterns, toxic behaviors, and God help, toxic thought, codependency, and the list can go on forever. So who knows best? Your higher self. Remember, they're the ones that are running the show. And we simply are a puppet avatar to our true being. Now, another reason would be is because your beloved needs to be protected or shielded from you because you're not perfect. They're coming from a good place. But because you're so heavily embedded in the matrix, or because you're so ego conscious forward, social ideals are important. How you think about yourself, how you perceive what relationships should be. And you're not on the same page. How strong is that ego of yours? Are you coming from a heart-mind space? Is your beloved more forgiving, trusting than you are? That's something to think about. I'll let you let that settle in for a moment. Moving on. These spiritually self-imposed blocks. Here's another reason. There are things that you must accomplish first. There are things they must accomplish first. Are you really in a earthly realm position to take on a relationship? Have you accomplished what you came here to do? There we go. Stepping in now, our soul mission and purpose. Why are you here? What was it that you were supposed to have in self-discovery, self-realization? Where are you on your path to self-mastery? Again, this brings me to the next point, something I'm always telling you. Remember that it's about the road to self-mastery and purpose. If these things are not accomplished first, then you get so tied up in that bubble phase lovey-dovey stuff, you forget all about yourself. Now we're going back into what they're showing me is servitude. I want to please this person. Please. Oh, isn't that interesting? You want to please a person. Please, please, please be with me. I'll let that soak for a second as well, because it's saturating here. You know, when I do this, it's always channeled. And what comes forth, I allow spirit to come forth. Moving on. Let's go to the earthly blocks. Okay? Let's put it on a earth realm point of view. Stalking becomes a bit much. Trying to please. Please talk to me. Please understand. Please see, I really, really do love or care for you. And we all know in the twin flame magnetic force, that pull it drives, that obsession comes to the point of insanity. So where does the block come in on the self-imposed to force the human block down here? So that one is forced to let that cool down, let that die down. Now, let's look at it on the other shoe. Your beloved puts a block on you. They know what's best for you. That's one reason. because your higher selves, both of your higher selves, have had a meeting and said, you know what, I think your avatar should be blocked by mine because it's not getting the point. It needs a cool down. Okay, so the person puts a block on. That's one. The second one for the beloved's block on a human realm could be, oh, this is too much for me. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Concept. I'll let that sit in for a moment as well. Sometimes it's not always about you. Remember, let's go back to self-imposed blocks. Are you mirroring each other? Let's let that sit there and soak for a moment. The twin flame dynamic is a unique one. The twin flame journey and purpose is the same. Things that must come up, surface. You cannot bring that baggage into a pure, sanctified, sacred union on a human realm level, an earthly realm level. None of that has worked before. If you think about it honestly, how many times are you going to be hurt? Are you hurt, or are you chasing the wrong thing that's not good for you? Or are you attracted to the wrong things that are not good for you? How does that sound? How does that make you feel? I know when I had first discovered, it made me feel foolish. Now the chaser realizes that they owe a lot of apologies to the runner. How far or how deep have you looked into your own soul? That shadow self, that shadow you. Again, that's a self-full nature of a human. There's no room for human nature in a sacred twinship union. It's an understanding of the understanding on a soul etheric level. Love, trust, and honor. That you love unconditionally, that I see that you must do these things for either our greatest, well, regardless, it's our greatest and highest good. But I have to see it as what's best for you without resentment, without bitterness, disdain. What's the expression? Okay, you do you, boo. Well, I'll do me. And somewhere in between, Source will have us meet in the middle. I think I've made my point, and I'm going to leave you with this thought. On a human realm, the earthly plane, a successful relationship, romantic one, is where one person is whole within themselves and the other person is whole within themselves. Yes, I know it sounds like a cliche, but hang in there with me. This wholeness makes them two strong individuals that don't seek closure because it's been completed. And the strength of their partnership is because they're individual. They're both bringing wondrous mana to the table. This makes an excellent unity. The strength of their unity is the strength of their wholeness within. Love to all, peace to all, wonders to thee. Ciao.